There's a question that has been asked several times if the Nigerian youth have a place in leadership and politics in their own country. We'll be discussing that and much more on the program, The Patriot. My name is Dell, and this is the podcast. Today on the program, I have a gentleman who has, if you ask me, leaving his feet on the sands of time. He is a one-time presidential candidate and also a running mate of the 2023 elections alongside a presidential candidate in the ADC, that's African Democratic Congress. We have Ahmed Buhari right here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
And we also have our in-house analyst right here with us, Uchenna Simon, a.k.a. Prince Yusingawa. Glad to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I watched an interview where you said before you took the decision in 2016 to, come out and say, I want to do this. I would like to know what prompted you to take a decision. So let's look at Nigeria's leadership before 2016, where you took the decision to run for an office.
Okay. Well, that was a long time ago. I was much younger, a lot naive, and ignorant a little bit. And I keep telling people that ignorant is bliss. Like when you do not know exactly what lies through that dark tunnel, it's sometimes the best time to go through it, because then you're not really scared. But then after you go through and the experiences you gather, at that point you start having a lot of things cautioning you as to whether or not you want to venture into that dark tunnel again. But I think what is most important is my decision to run in 2019 was born out of the fact that I was sick and tired of complaining. I was sick and tired of standing on the sidelines. I'm a trained geologist, and I worked in the oil and gas sector for about 9 years before I left, and then I started a career again in the IT sector. So at that point in time, I was very critical about the policies that were coming out from the federal government as to how it will shape my industry, my new industry. 10 years ago, nobody really cared about ICT. Nobody even believed that technology being built in Lagos, in Yaba especially, where I started from, we call it the Yabacon Valley. Nobody really believed that anything we would have developed could actually be used to do anything. So there was this pain, there was this anger, and there was this desire to see how we would, if not for anything, but speak to the system so that the system understands that indeed something is happening here in Yabacon Valley, and people and policies that people in office are formulating must favor people in Yabacon Valley that are trying to change the narrative, especially as it's concerned the technology world. And then I think I got pushed to the wall at some point when I visited northern Nigeria at some point before 2016, and everybody who was talking was looking for a second term for the same usual suspects to return to office. So I went back to Lagos and I said, you know what, damn it, we're going to contest. And I made that declaration on social media, and by morning there were thousands of comments saying, yes, we got to do this. I had friends coming from other parts of the country to meet me in Lagos. Are you for real? Do you want to do this? And from nothing with nothing, we're able to, in my opinion, do beyond our expectations. We were able to get everybody talking about it. People listened, and I'm so proud of the 2019 conversation. As the first young person to ever declare to do that, the conversation around the 2019 election was strictly on ideas, was strictly on what can actually better the country, was strictly on debates that would better the conversation around politics, not necessarily calling out each other's names, not fighting. Nobody fought nobody. In fact, the elders at that point in time started coming up with a different viewpoint when they wanted to talk about issues, and I was excited. But then in 2023, if you notice, there were a lot of young people who were no more in the space, and we started seeing how people will go to rallies and call out people's mothers and fathers and things like that. So indeed, I think without any without mincing words at all, I think young people indeed need to rise up and play a role in this whole scenario. It's just like when you're driving your car and then you're the only one in the car and you put the glass down and you throw a paper outside. If your kid is in the car, you're not going to do that because the kid is going to call you out. So I think if we allow young people in the space, a lot of older people and their old antiques will start thinking of how to change certain things just because they know that people as young as their sons and daughters would caution them if they do the wrong things.
Now, you mentioned the word allow young people. Now, let me ask Prince Ngawa. It is seemingly as if we had the regimes of the Nnamdi Azikiwes who were young. We had the Gowons who were young. Then all of a sudden, it was like a particular youth age just diminished. It was as if there were no youths anymore. So it was like a recycling of this young, old people. From young, they became old, and they were still in the system. What did we miss that we are trying to recover now?
Well, for me, I feel leadership is not a prerogative of the old. Rather, is it prerogative of the young. Leadership is a mindset, is a decision you make to lead people out of poverty, lead people and give them a good life. That is what leadership is all about. But like I said, it's not a prerogative of the old, neither is it a prerogative of the young. Young people have failed us, the old people have failed us.
How so?
Leadership is not in age.
How so? Let's
actually.
talk about that.
Well, when I say young people have failed us, I think we once had a speaker that is in his 30s, and he failed us. We once had an EFCC chairman that is very young, and this is somebody all of us as young people were looking up to. Like, we are so proud. And this if a young man, if the young people cannot hold down a very sensitive position of corruption in this country, then what do you want? It's so unfortunate.
So we have a problem with accountability
it's so
and being
unfortunate.
responsible.
We complained. If you ask any reasonable young man in this country, all they are yearning about is corruption 1, corruption 2, corruption 3. Then, will I say, God did it in his own will and handed over this particular position where you can tackle the corruption and put one of you, will I say one of us, in that position, and he failed. It's sad. It's really, really sad. Like, I'm pained. Honestly,
And,
I'm
and
so
we
pained.
had
It's actually allegations, but
Right.
there are proofs.
Right.
All right, there are proofs to those that feel he shouldn't be in that position anymore.
There was
All
a
right?
time where we had that whole noise about the Not Young to Run rule act,
Yes.
and it was such an exciting time for every young person.
Right.
And like you said, during that time, a whole lot of young people wanted to vie for positions. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, in 2023, the number dropped.
Right.
What happened?
Right. So I just want to touch a little bit on what he said before, earlier. He said leadership is not a prerogative of the young, neither is it a prerogative of the old. Yes, it's actually true, and I keep saying things like age is not a function of good leadership.
True, very
Regardless of the age bracket you fall in, it doesn't really mean that you're going to give good leadership. But at the same time, when you talked about Nnamdi Azikiwe, Yakubu Gowon, Babangida, Buhari of the 80s, indeed, they were in their 30s and 40s, some of them
Yes.
in their 20s as governors and the rest. And they were agile, they were creative, they were fearless, they wanted to try new things. And that is the joy, that's the beauty of being a young person. All right? But you see, all of those people that you mentioned are people who fought through to get there. And what you're seeing now are young people who are handpicked by the same old people to represent them at strategic places, so it is seen to look as if though there's a balance that's been created. And that is, if you do that, there is no way that young person is going to be there in the interest of the young people, neither is it going to be in the interest of the Nigerian people. So it's important for us to be able to distinguish when you see young people who truly indeed are worthy of such positions because indeed they actually pushed for it. And with regards to the not too young to run and all of the campaigns that went around it before the former president assented to the bill, it gave room for a lot of young people to participate.
That's right.
In 2019 brought about a huge number of young people in the National Assembly. It brought about lots of young people growing in confidence to have these conversations, to see that when you come out, nobody is saying, shut up, you're a child, because indeed in the Constitution, you're covered.
You're covered, yeah.
So it's a good thing, but again, the politics itself, it's a very expensive venture. And so when that money part resurfaces again, after you have come with your intellectual prowess, come with your agility, your strength, your strategy, at the end of the day, it is money that will shape all of these things together. Now, the young people of our generation do not have money, right? And the young people of our generation are so fixated with the fact that they would have to be compensated before they do anything, even if it has to do with moving something from just 1 kilometer to the other kilometer.
Yes.
So and then these things cannot be overlooked at when we ask why are young people no more in the scene. They're no more in the scene because they do not have the financial capacity to contest with the people that have been in the scene for the last 30, 40 years and have had their hands directly engaging with the national purse.
And it looks like, Prince Ngawa, we have young people in the polity, but the roles they play, it's different from what possibly we're expecting them to play. Where are the Ahmed Buharis, for example, who have seen a problem and they're trying to solve it? You've mentioned one of the issues, which is the issue of money. But then the old generation still use these young people when it comes to certain roles, when it comes to politics. They are the ones who are on top of the drums, shouting, "You are my leader," and all of that. Whose fault is it? Is it
leader?
Our leader. I'm sure you've heard that song over and over again, and you used
leader.
Our leader. So is it the young people that do it? Are we doing this to ourselves, or the older people are doing this to us?
Well, this is what I always tell young people, and what I usually tell them is that knowing when to strike is very important. Anyway, will I say I'm exposing a particular young people's code, or will I say a code I usually give young people? I always tell them that you should know the right time to strike. And when I say to know the right time to strike, you can't fight what you definitely know will kill you.
That's right.
You don't do that. That's foolishness.
Yeah.
All right? You take it easy. Get closer. Keep getting closer. You get at the particular point that you will hear that sound. You will hear that voice that will tell you, take the shot.
Okay.
And the moment you do, you will get it.
I've heard you several times say things like political calculation. Is it in connection to what he just
I
said?
like what he just said.
Yeah.
And when I started my opening, I said something like, there was naivety, and there was ignorance, and so that dark tunnel, you didn't know what you were going to see through the dark tunnel. And so because of that, I actually capped it up by saying ignorance is bliss. And now what he's saying is you have to keep getting closer, studying it, understanding it, and knowing exactly when to strike.
Exactly.
It could also be accompanied with keep gathering the money, and knowing when to spend. I don't know, but again, it's part of it.
Actually, the thing is, political calculation is very necessary in any leadership, in any political arena, all right? Because President Tinubu then and the rest of them came together and said that Buhari should come in. And you know why was that?
Why?
Because they definitely know that the heat from the north is more. And if North has been yearning for Buhari for a very long time, so if they can bring in Buhari, they definitely know the rest of the South will follow suit. That's a calculation. Because had it been they bring somebody from the southern part of the country, the person will fail, and Jonathan will still retain his seat. But bringing Buhari, emotionally, they have captured the masses already. So that is why I said is a calculation. And for me, running for elections, I don't really give it more. I don't give more attention to the finances.
Okay.
All right. I think what young people should do is just make sure you're building your contacts, you're building the necessary people around you. That is the most important thing. Because I once told somebody that he was with a particular, will I use the word Oga? His Oga. So it got to a point he said, no, he's breaking out. That he wants to be on his own. Do you understand? He wants to be on his own. He doesn't want to do this. He doesn't want to do that. That for that reason, in fact, he is contesting against his Oga in the same state. And I said, you fail. Because you are not strong enough.
Yeah.
Not even financially. But you have people. He said he has people that are loyal to him around his Oga, that are his Oga's boys. Then when he broke away, he told them, move in with me. None did. You see, he's not strong enough. And he failed. And that is where that ambition died.
But do you think it is possible in Nigeria, realistically, for a young person who doesn't have money to actually get it to that point where they can go through all the process and become that or win an election, even if it's just House of Assembly member, not even a presidential?
Any House of Assembly member currently, any state, any
House
federal
of Reps,
House of Reps,
yes.
Any senator that won an election under Labour Party has no 1 million. None of them have a dime.
So it's beyond money.
Do you understand? Okay. There is one that is even dropping passenger with his keke napep, and they told him you have won an election.
So it's important for us when we
let's understand
when we analyze all of those things to understand the context.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Labour Party came with a different conversation in the 2023 election. Peter Obi was in the space, and for many reasons, a lot of people just felt it was about time we saw a different kind of presentation. Don't forget, the conversation or the hype started from Lagos. The Lagos people, to a large extent, were still upset with Tinubu, especially because of the Lekki toll gate incidents. And for most of them, they feel, oh, he's been controlling Lagos for so much time, and they wanted something to happen differently. Scratch that. Atiku Abubakar was a regular face. They just didn't want to see him again. And for a lot of people, they felt those two were very old. And then they could settle for Peter Obi. And because they were settling for Peter Obi, whatever it is that was happening with regards to the conversation, and do not forget, Peter Obi spent a lot of money. Whatever it is that was happening with the conversation at that time.
Peter Obi spent a lot of money?
Oh, yes, he spent a lot of money.
Wow.
So this is my space, yeah?
No,
why
I was shocked was this is coming from people that doesn't give shish.
No, it's not
that's
true.
It's
not true.
That's what they told us.
There were people who had to go to those rallies that demanded for their monies to be completed before they left the scenes. Oh, yes. It happened in Kano, it happened in Kaduna, it happened in some other states. But you see, you cannot separate it from the politics. And this is why I keep saying, where a young person, where a known politician is going to spend maybe 100 million, they could come to you, could go to them and they say, because of you, because we see you like us, give us 5 million. They don't try now. Yeah? Yeah? You understand? So you will still spend. So Peter Obi might not have spent as much as the other guys, but he did spend money. You cannot do that without money. In fact, even your logistics is expensive. You understand? But importantly, is for us to understand that the Peter Obi wave carried a lot of people into the National Assembly offices, the governorship offices, the House of Rep offices, including Peter Obi magically getting about 6 million votes. For him, I'm sure he'd never expected it was going to get that far. And for everything that you see him do around the courts, the legal system, it's just because he needs to sustain the momentum, hoping that moving forward it might give him the kind of results that he wants. But you see, in 2011, there was what they call Gogwan Bahari. across northern Nigeria. Everybody who was CPC, nearly everybody who was CPC on all levels, either got into office or almost got into office. And now this is very important for us to understand, especially as the trend drives. So an individual could actually create that momentous force across his the line of people contesting under his political party, and that's exactly what happened. But is money important? Oh yes, money is important. Why didn't Buhari win in 2023, in 2003, 2007, 2011? A lot of shortage of money and a proper alliance. I agree with the whole strategy and waiting for the right time to shoot. But also importantly, is the right alliances that have to be made. And the alliance I had to make with the Lagos, the Southwest, was crucial in 2014 for that 2015 to happen in favor of the APC. But again, did the APC guys come with money? Oh, yes. They came with money. Even though Buhari was loved and liked, but a lot of money came in. I know people who had good fundraisers like Saraki those days. Tinubu came from the Southwest, a lot of support financially. A lot of people wanted to see it happen. There was fundraising happening across the world. So money, money, money. We are practicing a democratic style that looks exactly like the American style, and it's an expensive one.
And we're talking about the expenses, because at this point, with what you're saying, and you've said it earlier, young people might not be able to afford it. Now, having a big fish, sponsor a young person, that's
my.
where, so that's
my.
where
I say to Atiku Abubakar in 2018, before the PDP primaries, I said, I wish you would just pick somebody and say, I feel old. I've got so much ideas, but I just feel it's time for young people. And I'm nominating this young man to contest. I will support him, and I appeal to Nigerians to support him. I am telling you, if the guy hadn't won in 2019, he would have won in 2023. And this is exactly what I expect from the older guys. Are you saying in all of your years of being a boss, 30, 40, 45 years, you don't have 10, 20, 30 young men that you can say, this guy will make a better president than me because I feel old right now. I do not have the energy. I do not have the agility. I cannot catch up. This guy is smarter, is more savvy. Let him represent the country.
With the position you have reached now, do you have people within your peers that come to tell you, I want you to mentor me?
Of course. I'm a mentor for a lot of people. I have a lot of mentees. Every day I have to meet with people who say, sir, we want to do this, we want to do that. Or let's just have a conversation. People just want to sit down and talk. And after the conversation, they feel, uplifted. And things like this are the things that we get to talk. And that is a problem affecting our generation. So, again, if we had leaders who say, okay, I'm not a godfather, but I'm a mentor, I will tell you what to do. You don't have to take it, but you can compare it with other realities and make your final decision. Now,
you have, Prince Ngao, I have heard the elders say things like, young people come in the name of mentorship, and the next thing is, sir, I need to change my car. Sir, I need to pay my rent.
It happens.
Yes.
It happens.
So how can we find a balance to this? Because sometimes you even find that the older generation are seeing a prospect in a young person, and then all of a sudden he blows it up with house rent issues.
A lot of. But that's the truth.
It's the reality of what we have.
That's the truth. Some young people, usually take this advantage. They always come with, I want you to be my mentor, I want you to put me through, you understand? And due to is something you love to do, due to is something you want to give freely, you start to talk to them, they start coming close, and there you go, the house rent, my car is bad, I want to fix it, and all. But the thing is that it's not the way you make those requests. It's not the request that is the problem.
Okay.
It's the way you make the request.
Okay.
You understand? Because whatever they are requesting for, you can afford it 1 million times.
That's right.
But we are human beings, and psychology has this way of playing in our heads that, okay, you came for mentorship, so you start begging me for money. No, I can't do that. Please stop coming close to me. That's it. Do you understand? But like I said, diplomacy is everything. There is a way you will start to behave. I will start to feel you might come late for some errands and all. I will be like, why were you late? I was on my way. My tire got faulty.
It passes the message.
Go and change that tire. Go and change it.
Right.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
But you came, then, sir, I would really like to see you. What is it? Sir, my tires are bad. I can't make it tomorrow.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's a full liability. That's why I keep telling young people, it is important to know how to follow these old men. The moment you get the technique on how to follow them, you will get all you want in your palms. But the issue is that at times we try to show them we are smarter. Do you understand?
Yes.
But there is an adage that said an old woman doesn't get old in what she knows how to do best. Even if it's soup, when it's time she wants to cook it, she will give it the best because it's what she does.
Yes.
So I keep saying it, and I'll continue to say it. Our young people should, sit back and start to strategize. Now, these people from the LP, just like he said, they are in power now. Some of them are in reps, state assembly, senate. But the issue is, how long can they utilize it? Okay?
Yes.
I'm not saying this because I'm not sure. I'm certain.
Yeah.
Most of them will not come back 2027.
Because
and
it was.
You know why they cannot come back? Because they are not ready for it. Do you understand? They are not ready for it.
Peter Obi is different from the Labour Party.
Yeah.
You need to know the difference.
Yes, they are not ready for it.
Yeah.
So that is why you see now some of them from villages. Some of them have never been to Abuja. And today they are in Abuja.
That's right.
Do you understand? They might find themselves in one or two committees. The next thing, civil servants will start to lure them into corrupt practices, how to lure contracts, how to make money, how to do this. And there you go. All those dreams he had on how to liberate his people from poverty, is gone. Now, maybe when he comes, he might be in Apo or Gwarimpa. Now he will be aiming to be in Maitama. How will I get that house of 570 million? That's my target now. People might be sending requests from his constituency. That's not the target. This is how to get this house. And there you go. After 4 years, you're going back to be re-elected. Who are you? You are nobody when you left here.
Yes.
And your money cannot make any difference. Trust me.
And that's the reason why you said it's not necessarily about money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your Excellency, the money will not make any impact because the people that have the game will come back and take it. Because Obi will not be there again.
Yes. And do I need money to be able to prepare me to become a politician as a young person? Talking about impact, Prince have just said a very profound word there. Talking about impact, do I need money to make impact in my community?
People, unfortunately, only appreciate the things that you can do with money. So I can decide to be a teacher. I can decide that, the way I want to serve my community is to give 3 hours of teaching. I want to teach maths and physics and chemistry. Nobody likes me. I'm actually stressing the young people. If I say, my support for the community is to see how I can, who knows, probably lecture people on Forex, how to see how you can make money and all of that. Nobody, you see, I'll just say a quick story. I was driving my son to school 2 days ago, and we passed a building close to his school, and I said, oh, wow, they've wiped up the EFCC keep off sign on the building, which means either they finished the case, the pending case on the building, or whatever. And then as I drove to the front gate of the building, I saw Ministry of Tourism and something. I didn't see it very well. It means that the case has been in court, and the federal government finally has decided to confiscate the building from whoever had stolen it, or who has used proceeds of fraud to build it, and are now using it for a government office. Fantastic. And then my son said, but that's unfair. The man or whoever owns the house must have spent his hard-earned money to... I said, don't you understand? They're saying that they have investigated him for corrupt practices. He has been found culpable, and now the house has been moved to the government because he cannot pay whatever he has stolen. It's about, are you sure that the government indeed followed the right procedure to ensure that the man actually stole those monies? I said, yes. Initially, they must have actually picked him up as a suspect, tried him in court, brought evidences, and that is why he said, but are you sure government will not just victimize the man just because he's not? I said, oh my God. And then I tried to break it down. But as I drove, I kept giving examples of how people who steal public funds affect your schools, your healthcare, your roads, everything around you, insecurity. He was sitting at the back, but I worried about how much government has to work hard to regain the trust of the people. We are the last generation. Everybody under us do not believe in the system. They do not believe in the government. Government has to make a conscious effort to help regain the trust of the people. And now regaining the trust of people goes as much as what we've been talking about with regards to how much importance does money play. Nobody cares. I've seen this guy. He bought, as he went to Abuja, he bought that 570 million naira house in Maitama. So now he wants me to vote him back and let him give me 2 million. If he gives the money, he will vote for him. He will rally for him. So is money important? Yes. Now they know that he has made money from Abuja. Before that, they voted for him based on the Gogo and Obi, the whole Obi hype. Now they're not voting for him because of the Obi hype. They are voting for him because they know that he has money and he has to give them money. Now this is the problem. Nobody is ready to move anything from here to here for free. And for those of them that have done it for free, they go back and bite their fingers, because those people that they helped, hoping that when they get into office, they will see the need to do the things that they wanted to do, even if it's for their community, have failed them. It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
It is real. It is worrisome. I do not know. There's sometimes I sit down and I say to myself, is it that we need a leader that's going to be inspirational, who is going to speak to us, speak to our hearts, see how we can take a pause for a bit and say, okay, let's just pause for like 1 year and see things fall in place, and realize that I do not have to beg for money, but the system is working and a job would come to me. When you spoke about those kids that climb the drum and call people leaders, the reason why they do that, two fundamental things are missing in their lives. No education, no jobs. What do you want them to do? This is the only time people cash out.
Cash out.
This is the only time. So they follow, they run, and they hope that somehow, 1,000 naira will enter their hands in the whole election cycle. And they say, yes, at least I ate his money. Let me go back to under the mango tree and wait to die, because eventually nothing happens. They're frustrated, they feel dejected, they feel rejection. They do not like you. And I keep saying one thing. The people that are really causing those problems are in bulletproof vehicles, in houses with very tall fences. At the end of the day, you who is able to just iron your shirt and try to look good, but you have to still struggle, will become the target, because they believe that you are closer to the treasury than they are. And so you're an enemy. So we all have to be careful. I remember when I just moved to Lagos, I went there with a baby boy. And then after the first year, the company paid some handsome profit share.
Baby boy, is that
Hennessy?
Okay.
Honda.
Somebody doesn't
Somebody
know baby
exactly.
boy.
Honda 2000. Honda.
It's your child. You moved with your child.
Honda 98. Yeah. Honda
Yes.
98.
Yes.
And then the next year, the company paid handsome profit share, and I bought the Scotian Continue. And as I was driving, the third year, good money came again, and I changed. I got an SUV, so I handed the other car to my wife.
They
and
continue.
They continued to my wife,
Yes.
and I was driving an SUV.
Yeah.
And then I was driving as I was coming on. My street was bad in Lagos, Surulere. Gallop to my house. So when I'm driving, you don't have a choice. Everybody sees you, you say hello, and they say hello back to you. But when I bought the SUV, when I say hello, they just turn their face.
Okay.
These are the
Yeah,
people that are
They're
causing
not
me my
eating our
problem.
money.
You understand? And I'm actually just a hard worker.
Yes.
We have to think about how to pass this message effectively by begging those who are in office to please do the needful, because the target might not be them. It might just be us.
That's right.
I want to add something to that. There is something that happens to people when they are inflicted with poverty, their mindset changes. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Their mindset, the way they think changes. And that affects them even when you give them money, even when they are rich. That mindset stays. So we need to, do all we can to make sure that, you drag people out of poverty. It messes people's head up.
Physically,
Yes,
mentally,
physically,
psychologically,
mentally.
everything
They don't think like human beings
anymore.
Sadly.
Do you understand? They don't care if they inflict pain on you or they inflict pain on the whole country. They don't care. They have gotten to that level. So poverty is a time bomb.
I think this is a very powerful message you're passing to the young people in position right now. And our eyes are open, we're watching.
Everybody in position.
Yeah. And then now let's go back a little bit to you looking at the election. Now we have political parties going to court, to challenge the results.
Yes.
Did your party challenge the
No, my
results?
party, apparently my party before the election spoke openly. We had a press conference, and Dumebi Kachiku said clearly to the press that he knows very clearly that the APC is going to win, and that the only thing that can change that is if the PDP and the Labour Party and maybe the NNPP come together before the closure of the allowable time and contest as one block. That maybe that is when they can give a good contest against the APC. But in fact, we got a call from the PDP office saying, on an well,
Really?
we've already won this election,
Wow.
and it's so laughable that after the election, 2 days later, I saw the PDP and the Labour Party sitting together. That was here, and Okoye was on the other side, and they said they had become brothers. They were twinning.
After the election.
After the election, a couple of hours.
Yes.
So you said something that's very important. Strategy,
Yeah.
aiming, waiting. 8 years is fast. 4 years is quicker.
Yes.
I mean, like, Tinubu knew. In fact, in 2019, from what I'm hearing, the agreement was for Buhari to have 4 years. But when they said they wanted Buhari to have another 4 years, Tinubu said, no problem. Have the 4 years. It's just around the corner. Only death can maybe not let it happen, but it's around the corner. And it's here.
Like I said,
Yes.
strategy is everything. It's everything in politics. The moment you don't have it, if you have trillions of naira, you will not get it.
So it's not just
If money gives power,
yes.
it will give Atiku. Everybody knows it.
That's a powerful one.
Everybody knows it. Like, there's nothing he cannot give to get it. But it cannot.
And then there's a prophecy.
I think you should add an IS to that. Prophecies, yes.
Now, this is the strategy.
Yes.
Naturally, if you look at it, we have north, we have south. And the only way you can become president, technically, is when you have votes from this south and vote from the north. Now, Tinubu, look at it, Obi is out. I think the day Obi came out and declared his contesting, I'm very sure Tinubu danced. He will dance.
I personally felt
really,
Tinubu was actually sponsoring Obi's campaign.
No, the issue is that the moment he saw that,
yes.
he danced. Do you know why? Because this is more like
he made it easy for
out
him?
of 100%.
Yeah.
Tinubu knows he's going to get 50 from the south and 50 from the north. Atiku will get 50 from the north. Obi will get 50 from the south. Obi will be running to the north to get the remaining 50. Tinubu has taken
Political
it.
calculation.
Atiku will go to the south to get 50. Tinubu has taken it. So Tinubu will be left with 100. This is the calculation. I don't know what is wrong with some people.
It was a contest between APC and a divided PDP.
Do you understand?
Whether you like it or not.
Because in the south,
Yes.
PDP technically doesn't campaign in the south. Because
I really would want us
like-
to have this conversation
yeah,
again because my
like-
time is up.
Yeah,
And then,
like PDP have the South.
Yes.
They are people.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way. So it's just to small
Formalities.
campaigns. But where they always have issue is to come
Small
and
sharing of
campaign
money.
in the north.
Well, what's the next step for you? Now we're in new government. It looks like the ADC accepted.
Yeah,
the
we-
results.
No,
and-
the government will invite him for his expertise.
please, that would be awesome.
We did endorse Tinubu when he won. We were the first.
Political party.
party that said
Congratulations.
congratulations, you've won this. We said it before now, and I think they acknowledged and said, well done, thank you, because at that point we needed to create calm in the system. Everybody said, no, it was rigged. And the more we do this, and this is so important, Nigerians go around bringing down their country, hoping that it will get better. How? You say it was rigged, it's a lie, it is this and it is that. What do you think happens when the rest of the world looks at you?
Are you still continuing politics, or you
Of
going
course,
back to your
it's a way of
profession?
life.
You said whether
If he's continuing in politics or he's going back to geology and
if he retires in politics at this age, I will sue.
You go to court, take it to court,
Thank you so much for watching today's edition of the program, and I'm so honored. Thank you so much, Ahmed Buhari, for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And of course, we have our own Uchenna Simona, aka Prince Yusingawa. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Please join us again for another edition, and please share this video with every young person, every Nigerian out there. My name is Dell.